David Grush's claims on News Nation sparked an unprecedented move in Washington. A historic hearing specifically focused on disclosure and getting answers about what the government truly knows about UFOs.
Mr. Chairman, ranking members and congressmen, thank you. I'm happy to be here. This is an important issue and I'm grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grush. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program.
And seated right behind the three key witnesses was none other than George Knapp.
So how did you end up in the front row right there of the hearings?
Well, these members of Congress haven't been at it that long. They knew they needed help. They wanted to set up a hearing.
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes. Personally.
Would you have had the capability to defend yourself, your crew, your aircraft?
Absolutely not.
Sir?
No.
My main concern was that it needed to be bipartisan. It can't just be Tim Burchett and other Republicans, one-sided kind of a thing, because the temptation to be really partisan, you can't help it. And he agreed to that. He said, yeah, we're going to make it bipartisan. We got some Democratic members who are interested in it. And he did. He kept his promise.
And thank you all for being here and the courage it took to come forward and again, the sacrifice that each of you have made. Is it possible that these UAPs are testing for vulnerabilities in our current systems?
Yes.
Yes. Possible.
Is based off of the information that you've been privy to, is there any indication that these UAPs are interested in our nuclear technology and capabilities?
Yes.
Okay. By external observation, sure, that could be a fair assessment, yeah. Yes.
Is there any indication that the Department of Energy is involved in UAP data collection and housing?
I don't have an answer.
I can't confirm or deny that in a public setting. No.
Could you do it in a secure setting?
Yes.
For the record, if you were me, where would you look? And I put that as an open question to the three of you.
I'd be happy to give you that in a closed environment. I can tell you specifically.
Thank you. Commander Fravor?
And I would say, and I've told people that you have to know where to look. They're not going to divulge it to you because of the classification levels. But if you know where to look and who to talk to, which is exactly what Mr. Grush can point you, then you have them.
Okay. Mr. Graves?
I was an operator, so I was depending on folks like Mr. Grush to do that homework.
Okay. Thank you very much. I yield back to the chair.
Congress, it's a perilous moment for them right now. You saw those members of the House. They were very passionate at that hearing. They wanted to get to the bottom of this.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Absolutely astonishing for me to see Tim Burchett and Matt Gaetz, as far right as you can get. And over on the other side is AOC and Jamie Raskin, and they're all asking pointed questions. They're all into it. These are not questions just prepared by staff. They're listening to the witnesses and asking good stuff. And they're pissed off. But as I have said 100 times, the keepers of the secrets are better at their job than people like us are at ours. And they're not going to let this thing go easily. The pushback has already begun.
So yeah, it's interesting. Burchett said that too. There were other witnesses that backed out.
Well, I think there was a statement about other witnesses. They didn't pass their security clearance or something, and that was not the case.
Okay.
There was 2 other witnesses that we tried to get who declined to be part of it, but they might do it at some future point.
Well, how do you think the Pentagon is going to react given, your experience covering this issue?
They've resisted being truthful for 75 years. It's not going to turn around on a dime. But after what happened today, I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle.
Mr. Knapp, having covered this for years, decades, is today surreal for you?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird to see it finally happen.
I had a moment where it kind of overwhelmed me, thinking about, gosh, this is happening right in front of my eyes after all these years, progress finally being made. It was quite a moment. Quite a moment. I wonder, are we going to be able to figure out these mysteries even if we have, say, a crash saucer? Does it tell us where they're from? or why they're here, or what their interest is in us. I've been up pretty far up the food chain. I don't know anyone who knows the big picture.
Do you think there's someone behind the scenes that does?
I think there are people behind the scenes who know a lot more than we do, a lot more than I do, a lot more than OSAP learned. I've heard about these people for a long time, and somebody pulls these strings. I don't know that there was ever a MJ-12, but I suspect that there was an organization like that. You know, I'd love to have the answers while I'm still alive and kicking here, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen.
It seems like this is the worst possible moment for you to retire, which you're obviously not retiring, but are you working harder than ever, would you say?
Seems like it. I tried to retire. It lasted 2 months. And yeah, it'd be pretty hard to walk away from it now.
George has teamed up with UFO researcher Jeremy Corbell for his podcast, Weaponized. They continue to be at the forefront of breaking some of the biggest stories.
Congress has made it pretty clear. They want this information. They want to have access to it. They want whistleblowers who have information, direct hands-on experience with these legacy programs to step forward. Those people are really reluctant, as we know. We talk to them.
We have passed people through the process that are verifiably who they say they are.
Other people whose names are not yet known to the public or to the UFO world who want to tell the story.
And George says there's more to come.
There are more whistleblowers, and there will be more that will come out. We know some of them. There are some big shoes still to drop.
Do you think it sunk in for you how pivotal you were in all of that?
I lucked into it a lot, and I'll take credit where, you know, I'll take credit if somebody wants to give me some of it here and there. But moving here in the first place, getting to know Lazar and Lear and all that, to where it led.
You may not find out in a month, a year, 5 years, or 10 years, but you'll look back at what I'm telling you now, and you'll say to yourself, my gosh, the son of a gun was right.
You got to work it. You know, like a reporter does. Yeah. You got to, if it becomes your beat, you work it.
I think what we can say about this is there is a body of information. There is some kind of a phenomenon here that can't just be written off. The government is sitting on a certain amount of information that it isn't letting us know about. And I don't think the topic has been fairly treated by science and journalism. It would be interesting if we could have a much larger investigation by someone else.
It does seem a lot more mainstream now, though, to have these conversations.
I'm thrilled when I see other media covering it. It's fun. The public's interested. Our listeners, our viewers, our readers are interested. And it's important, too. I mean, the big picture, if we could get to the bottom of it, it changes everything.
George Knapp, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.